Big thank you to Oliver Dowden, who's just resigned. He's been an excellent party chairman. Was a very good culture secretary, did a lot of good with broadband rollout, to set up the Office for Veterans Affairs. And yes, it's absolutely true that we've had some tough by-election results, and they've been, I think, a reflection of a lot of things. But we've got to recognise that voters are going through a tough time at the moment, and I think that as a government, I've got to listen to what people are saying, and in particular to the difficulties people are facing over the cost of living, which is, I think, for most people the number one issue. And there, what we're doing is as much as we can to help people. £1,200 for the 8 million most vulnerable households, help for everybody with the cost of heating, trying to cut taxes where we can. But what I can say to people is we will get through this. We will get through it well. But clearly we've got to listen to these results.
Well, Oliver Dowden says you can't go on with business as usual, and everything you've just said is what you've been saying for weeks. This is about you. It's not about all the other stuff. Well,
that may be your view. I think that what governments have also got to recognise is that, although I don't want to in any way to minimise the importance of what voters are saying, it is also true that in mid-term governments post-war lose by-elections. I think if you look back to last May, the truly astonishing thing was we managed to win Hartlepool in a very different circumstances. What we need to do now is reflect on where voters are, and I think what they're basically feeling is that we came through COVID well, we took a lot of the right decisions there, but we're now facing pressures on the cost of living. We're seeing spikes in fuel prices, energy costs, food costs. That's hitting people. We've got to recognise that there is more that we've got to do, and we certainly will. We will keep going, addressing the concerns of people until we get through this patch.
Doesn't this tell you that you were not, as you said, vindicated by the Sue Gray report? People are very angry, and they voted to get you out. People have voted tactically to defeat the Conservative Party.
Look, as I say, you see historically in the last 50 years more, you've seen governments being punished at the polls during mid-term when people are particularly feeling economic pressures. And I totally get that. I think that what we've got is the right way forward, and I think that actually we are able to support people because of the decisions that we took. I think coming out of COVID, we took a lot of the right decisions, but plainly we've got to keep looking after people, making sure that we have a robust, strongly performing economy. As it happens, we've got unemployment very low by historic standards. We've got a lot more people in work than we had before the pandemic began. That's a good background, that's a good basis on which to build, and that's what we're going to do.
You're meeting Prince Charles today. There's been no denial from his office that he's appalled by your Rwanda policy. If he tells you he thinks it's appalling, what are you going to say? I
wouldn't comment on anything that I say to, or the Queen, or the Queen says to me, or nor would I say anything about what the heir to the throne might say to me, or what I might say to him. And that's never happens. Prime Ministers never talk about that, and quite rightly. But what I will say is I think people coming to Rwanda, as you have today, Christian, everybody else has in this group, I think people can see that a lot of prejudices about Rwanda need to be blown away, and actually the achievements of the government of Rwanda over the last couple of decades have been very remarkable, and I think that the migration and economic development partnership that we've got is a creative attempt to solve a problem that affects countries around the world. So we're building a partnership between the UK and Rwanda to address something that is frankly evil, taking people across the channel in unseaworthy vessels. We've come up with a plan to fix it. No UK court has so far ruled it unlawful, and we're going to stick with it.